In a quiet corner of India, where the rice fields stretched out like green oceans and the sound of temple bells floated in the evening wind, stood a modest little school. It was not a place of luxury. The walls were cracked, the windows old, and the chalkboards carried the scratches of decades. Yet it was a place full of youthful laughter, morning prayers, and the energy of children running barefoot across the dusty playground. Among the many students, there were 4 girls who often found themselves in mischief. Their names were Anya, Lavanya, Maya, and Hansa. They were like 4 lotus flowers in different colors, blooming side by side. Each girl had her own charm. Anya was quick-witted but restless. Lavanya gentle but easily distracted. Maya always daydreaming. And Hansa bold enough to question even the teachers. One afternoon, when the sun was sinking low and the sky glowed orange, these 4 girls were punished for failing to recite their lesson. The teacher on duty, tired after a long day, sighed and ordered them to stay behind and clean the classroom. The girls did not complain. Instead, they picked up brooms and rags, laughing quietly to themselves as they began sweeping the dusty floor and wiping the windows. The classroom was silent, except for the soft sound of straw brooms scratching against the ground and the occasional chirping of a cricket hidden somewhere in the walls. As the shadows grew longer, the air inside the classroom felt heavier. Anya, who was closest to the window, suddenly froze. Outside, beneath the fading light, she saw the figure of a woman. The woman was standing very still, almost too still, as if she had been carved from stone. She wore a long emerald green sari that shimmered faintly, though the sun had almost disappeared. Lavanya, Anya whispered, tugging her friend's sleeve. Lavanya looked up, and her eyes widened. The woman was indeed there, her long hair falling over her shoulders, her face turned slightly toward the classroom. But something about her presence was unsettling. The girls did what they had been taught at home. They greeted politely. "Namaste, madam," they said with small voices, pressing their palms together. The woman's lips curved into a smile. At first it seemed kind, but as the corners of her mouth stretched farther and farther, the smile became unnatural, grotesque. Maya and Hansa, who had been sweeping near the back, heard the words and shivered. They had not seen the woman yet, but the voice wrapped around their hearts like a cold rope. Against their will, their eyes lifted. What they saw made their breath catch in their throats. The woman's face was no longer kind. It was as white as chalk, her eye sockets hollow and endless, her tongue long and black, hanging grotesquely from her mouth. The neck tilted at a strange angle, as though it had once been broken. A chill spread across the classroom. Anya dropped her broom. Lavanya let out a faint gasp. Maya stumbled backward, knocking over a chair. Hansa clutched her chest, unable to breathe. Outside the window, the woman continued to smile. Her eyes glowed faintly in the darkness, like dying embers. And then, slowly, she began to laugh, a sound dry and sharp, like the creaking of rusted metal. The 4 girls screamed, the sound tearing through the evening air. At that very moment, another student arrived at the doorway, carrying a bag of food from the market. Seeing her friends collapsed in fear, she dropped everything she was holding, bowls and spoons clattering onto the floor. By the time the teachers came rushing, the woman outside was gone. Only the smell of burnt jasmine lingered in the air. And the memory of that unnatural smile remained burned into the girls' minds. That night, none of the 4 girls could sleep. They huddled together at Anya's house, whispering under the dim light of an oil lamp. Every time the wind rattled the window shutters, they jumped. Every time a dog barked in the distance, their hearts raced. "Who was she?" Maya asked, hugging her knees. "That woman in the emerald sari. I've never seen her before." Hansa lowered her voice. "I think I know. My grandmother once told me about a teacher. Her name was Asha Didi. She taught here, long ago, before we were even born." The other girls leaned closer. The lamp flickered, as if it too wished to listen. "They say she was kind, beautiful, and strict," Hansa continued. "But one evening, she disappeared. The next morning they found her near the banyan tree by the river. Her neck was broken, her sari torn, and her eyes wide open, as if she had seen something terrifying in her final moment." Lavanya shivered. "But, if she died, why would she come back?" "Spirits return when they have unfinished business," Anya murmured. Maybe she wasn't ready to leave. Maybe someone wronged her. The room grew cold. None of them dared to speak further. The following day at school, whispers spread like wildfire. Some boys claimed they too had seen a green sari flickering in the corridor. A janitor swore he heard a woman humming in the empty classroom at dusk. The headmaster dismissed it as childish imagination, but his hands trembled as he signed the attendance register. At home, elders muttered about curses. Some said Asha Didi had been betrayed by a lover. Others claimed she was punished for knowing forbidden knowledge. Children were warned not to linger after dark, not to look into mirrors, and never to answer if a woman's voice called their name from outside the window. But the four girls could not forget the sight of her hollow eyes and blackened tongue. The image haunted their dreams. Anya dreamt of walking down the riverbank only to see emerald fabric floating in the current. Lavanya dreamt of hearing a woman counting softly behind her. 1, 2, 3. Maya dreamt of a cold hand brushing her hair. And Hansa dreamt of a broken neck twisting toward her in the dark. After 3 nights of restless sleep, they begged their parents to do something. The village priest was summoned. He was an old man with a white beard, known for chanting mantras and driving away spirits. He inspected the classroom where the apparition had appeared. He burned incense and sprinkled water blessed at the temple. Then he whispered, "This place remembers sorrow. She lingers because her death was not peaceful. You must build her a shrine, offer prayers, and promise to keep her memory alive. Only then will she rest." And so, the villagers gathered. They placed a small altar under the banyan tree by the river, decorated with marigolds and lamps. The 4 girls lit the first sticks of incense, their hands trembling. The smoke curled upward, carrying their prayers into the darkening sky. For a time, peace seemed to return. No one saw the emerald sari again. The laughter of children once more filled the schoolyard. Parents sighed with relief, believing the spirit appeased. But deep in their hearts, the 4 girls knew it was not over. The smile, the whisper, the eyes like dark wells, they were not things easily forgotten. And sometimes, when the wind howled through the corridors at night, they thought they heard her voice again. "Look at me." Several weeks passed. The banyan tree shrine stood quietly by the river, its marigolds replaced every morning by village children. For a time, everyone believed the spirit of Asha Didi had finally been appeased. But the 4 girls knew differently. Their dreams had grown darker. Anya dreamt of being chased down endless corridors. Lavanya dreamt of a voice calling her name from beneath the river. Maya dreamt of emerald fabric wrapping around her throat. Hansa dreamt of a classroom filled with laughter that turned into screams. One stormy evening, as thunder rolled over the village, the 4 of them stayed late to study together in the classroom. Rain beat against the windows, and the oil lamp flickered. Suddenly the lamp went out. The classroom plunged into darkness. Only the lightning illuminated their pale faces. Suddenly the lamp went out. The classroom plunged into darkness. Only the lightning illuminated their pale faces. Then came the sound, slow, deliberate footsteps in the corridor. Tap, tap, tap. The girls froze, holding their breath. The door creaked open on its own. And there she was, Asha Didi, in her emerald sari, soaked as if she had walked through the river itself. Water dripped from her hair, pooling on the floor. Her head tilted unnaturally to one side, neck twisted, eyes glowing faintly in the lightning. "Children," she whispered, her voice echoing as if from inside the walls. "Have you forgotten me already?" The girls huddled together. Anya stammered, We built your shrine. We prayed." The ghost's smile widened, 2 wide prayers. "Flowers. Do you think that is enough?" Her eyes locked onto Lavanya, who felt an invisible hand clutching at her throat. She gasped for air. Maya screamed and grabbed Lavanya's arm, pulling her back. The room shook, desks rattling, chalk flying from the blackboard. The ghost stepped forward, dripping water with each movement. "I taught here," the spirit hissed. "I gave everything to this place, but they betrayed me. They silenced me. And now I want to be remembered." Hansa, though trembling, dared to shout, "Tell us the truth, who betrayed you?" The ghost's eyes blazed. Her voice rose into a shriek that shook the windows. "The headmaster." The girls recoiled in shock. Could it be true? The kind, respected headmaster hiding a crime? Before they could speak, the ghost vanished. The rain stopped abruptly. leaving only silence and the echo of her final word. That night, none of them slept. They debated in whispers. Should they confront the headmaster? Should they tell their parents? Or should they remain silent, fearing the wrath of both the living and the dead? In the end, they swore an oath. They would uncover the truth of Asha Didi's death, no matter the danger. The next morning, the four girls gathered behind the temple, away from prying eyes. The sun had returned after the storm, but the air still felt heavy. We must speak to the headmaster, Anya said firmly. If what the ghost said is true, he knows more than he has ever told us. Trembling but resolute, they approached the headmaster's office. The old man sat at his desk, spectacles perched on his nose, reviewing papers. When he saw the four girls enter, his hands paused. Sir, Hansa began, her voice unsteady. We saw her. We saw Asha Didi. The headmaster's face drained of color. He removed his glasses slowly, as if each movement carried a great weight. So, she has returned. She said you betrayed her, Lavanya blurted out. She accused you. Silence fell. Then the old man sighed, eyes glistening. Children, listen. It is true, but not in the way you think. He began to tell the story. Years ago, when he was young and newly appointed, Asha Didi had been the brightest teacher in the school. She was respected, admired, and sometimes envied. But she uncovered corruption in the village council, stolen funds meant for the school. She came to me, the headmaster said, voice trembling. She begged me to help her expose them. But I was weak. I feared for my position, for my family. I told her to stay silent. That was my betrayal. Tears slid down his cheeks. The next day, she was found dead. Some say it was an accident. Others whispered it was murder. But I have carried the guilt all my life. The girls listened in stunned silence. Anya asked, then what must we do? She won't rest. The headmaster rose, frail but determined. Then let us give her the truth she was denied. We will tell the village what happened. We will honor her name openly. The headmaster rose, frail but determined. Then let us give her the truth she was denied. We will tell the village what happened. We will honor her name openly. That evening, the temple bells rang as villagers gathered. The headmaster, voice shaking but clear, confessed his silence and his guilt. He named Asha Didi as a martyr of truth, a woman who gave her life fighting for honesty. The crowd murmured, some in shock, some in sorrow. At the shrine by the banyan tree, incense burned brighter than ever. The four girls knelt, tears in their eyes. And then, as the wind rustled through the marigolds, they saw her. Asha Didi stood beneath the tree, sari glowing softly in the twilight. But this time, her smile was gentle, her eyes no longer hollow. She raised her hand in blessing and slowly faded into the evening air. The villagers bowed their heads. The girls felt the weight lift from their chests. For the first time in weeks, they could breathe freely. That night, they slept peacefully. No whispers, no nightmares. Only the memory of a teacher in an emerald dress, who had finally found her rest. And so, the haunting of Asha Didi finally came to an end. Her spirit, once restless and vengeful, was set free by truth and remembrance. But the village of Banapur will never be the same again. The four girls returned to their lives. Yet deep down they knew, this was only the beginning. There are many more secrets buried in the shadows of their village. What else hides in the rivers, the trees, and the old classrooms? What other spirits still wait to be heard? Stay tuned for the next story in this haunted series, because the night is never truly silent. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so you won't miss the next chilling mystery.